Hey man, what it is? This is Dean, and I am your host, and this is by any means. There go to Cash App, $ Dean by any means. There go to PayPal at Dean by any means. Y'all already know what I'm about to say. I don't care if you leave $2, $200, $2,000. It's much appreciated. All the support that everybody be showing. I just want to say I appreciate y'all rocking with the kid. Hate is at an all-time high now, y'all. I think that now I have truly come to a space where I'm at disbelief. And y'all know for me to be at disbelief is crazy because I'm the main guy that be telling y'all about all of these haters out here. The sad part is that I told y'all that they not fans of boxing. They despise Gervonta Davis so much that they say forget they standards when it come to boxing just in general. We're not even going to be honest about rules and regulations and things that go on when it comes to boxing. But we want to be directly right about rules and regulations when it comes to Devinhaney and Ryangarcia and this whole PED thing and weight and all of that. It's mighty funny how people pick and choose, y'all. So Gervonta Davis, the WBA now, y'all, for people that's listening, has a new rule that they've implemented and been thinking about implementing since 2019. See, these people out here don't really understand research and things like that. Before you start talking about things, you might want to go, do your Googles or do your Yahoos or whatever it is that you got. Go get a book, go get a library card, whatever it is that you think that you have to do. But this is something that the WBA didn't just pop up. It's something that they've been thinking about doing. But as you know, with sanctioning bodies and things like that, stuff like this don't just happen overnight because it affects a lot of different things. So now the WBA has made a new rule, y'all, about rehydration clauses. And for anybody that don't know what that means that you can't you'll get weighed in and then you'll get weighed in again the morning of the fight, and you can't be higher than 10 pounds than you was when you weighed in the previous day before. And why it's so important to show y'all just the discrepancy and the hatred that Gervonta Davis receives, that sickens me because WBA decided to make this rule. Gervonta Davis has zero control, and he tweeted earlier about this, that he's even at disbelief. Gervonta Davis has zero controls over sanctioning bodies. And anybody I shouldn't have to explain that or even say that to anybody that actually claims that they're not a hater, that actually claims that they're a boxing fan. I shouldn't even have to be explaining this to y'all. That's number one. Like, that's bigger than everything else. Is I shouldn't even be having to make this video, but because Devin Haney fans and certain Shakur fans and certain YouTube channels and certain people on Twitter, they want to show they disdain for this young man so much that I have to address it or I wouldn't be who I am. Okay? The WBA has made a rule that all of their championship fights and all the legalities and everything is not ironed out because they don't know if they're going to push for the grandfather rule, which anybody that got people that's been in prison or been out the county or anything like that, well, really prison, when prison makes new rules, if a guy has had an item that has done a lot of time in jail and in prison and has an item that's no longer allowed in the prison, he is allowed to keep that item as long as he can prove that that item is something that's something that he bought and things like that, got his name on it, certain serial numbers, X, Y, and Z. Okay. But the WBA has made a new rule that they're basically going to do what the IBF has already been doing, y'all, for a long time now. People act like they are so against rehydration clauses, but we have no problem with the IBF. You don't hear people making videos. If you got a problem with the rehydration clauses, then you shouldn't watch any of Jaron Ennis's fights. You shouldn't watch no IBF fights. I believe that Canelo Alvarez is getting mandated by the IBF to fight William Skull, which means that Canelo Alvarez will be under this same rule because they're talking about them not knowing that they're going to put a grandfather law in. But the problem with that is that if they make Gervonta Davis and Frank Martin have to fight under a rehydration clause, Gervonta Davis be would be what's the word that I'm looking for? He will be eligible for the grandfather law, which this wouldn't even matter anyway. But they haven't decided all of that yet, y'all. Okay? Because it's for remaining champions. The grandfather law will be for remaining champions that have been fighting under the regular WBA rules. The rules that they had prior to this, they'll be able to still go about their matches the way that they always have. But anybody, let's say if it's a vacant belt or a fighter comes up that's the challenger, like if Frank Martin wins the championship, if he wins the belt, then all of Frank Martin fights from there on out, he will have to oblige by these rules. Okay. So, but they haven't even figured that part out. Gervonta Davis put out that he don't even know what y'all talking about. And I understand the man's frustration because this is a narrative that is just so nasty and so unprofessional and just so, it literally shows people teeth. You know when a dog can sit up there and act like it's friendly and all that, but you'll know when it's not as soon as it starts showing its teeth. When a dog's showing you his teeth, that means don't come too close near it. That means it's showing its true intentions, okay? So the problem that I have with everybody when it comes to this is that we like the IBF for how they go about their business and mandates fights immediately and then don't give by and they'll strip people. And I haven't heard nobody on YouTube, not one person. I haven't heard one person, y'all, on YouTube ever complain about the IBF putting fighters in rehab. It is mandated. It is mandatory that if you fight for the IBF, especially the IBF belt, you will be under a rehydration clause. It is mandatory. You think I'm lying? Well, Richardson Hitchison, he had, let's say, issues with fighting the fight that he fought because he wasn't sure about the rehydration clause with the IBF. But the IBF has always done this. Or I don't know how long they have done it, but I know for the last 10 years or whatever. So, and that's all I would need, that I know that they've been doing it for at least that long. That fighters under their belt that want to fight for their belt or already fighting for or already have their belt, they have to go under a rehydration clause. People dislike Gervonta Davis so much that my third favorite fighter, who is Jerron Boots Ennis, which is probably number 2 right now, because I don't know what Earl Spence gonna be doing and everything like that, but that's still my guy. Y'all already know, going to support him, whatever he doing. I'm buying, I'm watching, and we rooting for the man. But yeah, everybody know that Jerron Boots Ennis is fighting Cody Crowley, right? Like everybody, would y'all agree that everybody already knows this? That says that they are real fan of boxing and all that have these conversations. Y'all will agree that they that they know this fight is happening, correct? If you understand, type understand. Let me stop trolling. I haven't seen one video about Jerron Ennis is a coward and Jerron Ennis is, or a tweet or anything like that Jerron Ennis is weight draining Cody Crowley. I haven't seen one person say that ever. I didn't see nobody say that Jerron Boots Ennis was weight draining Romy Villa, who's a large welterweight. Romy Villa is a big man. I believe he's bigger than Jerron Ennis. Nobody said that he was weight draining Romy and Villa. I didn't hear anybody say that Sabril Matias was weight draining Ergashev. I didn't hear nobody say that when they was fighting for the IBF or none of that. Hey, y'all know somebody named Lomachenko, y'all? I do. Don't you know him? I mean, I'm pretty sure that we all know who that is, right? Didn't Lomachenko and Kambosos just fight for the IBF title with just recently? Didn't they just fight for the IBF title? Did anybody say that Kambosos or that Lomachenko was weight draining each other? Did y'all hear one, like after Lomachenko won, did y'all hear anybody say it? And if I'm wrong about them fighting for that belt, they could have fought for another belt, but I believe it's the IBF belt that they was fighting for. Because let me see, when there you got Tank, you got Shakur, and then Navarrete, and then for the I believe it's the WBO. Yeah. So okay. I'm probably right about that, but I don't even want to think about it and got to do all that. But my point is that you have never heard anybody say that the fighters made up those rules for the IBF. That you haven't heard anybody say that they had a problem with the IBF sanctioning body as a whole. The only time you've heard anybody say they got a problem with the IBF is because they stripped Terrence Crawford. Not about that's when it came to their rules and regulations. Not about the rehydration clauses that they put under every single fighter championship bout that is mandated under them. Gervonta Davis is about to have to do the same thing, right, y'all? But I guarantee you, the comments and the vitriol that I have seen under that man comments, under that man post, is just ridiculous. You got people saying you told them to do this. You're jumping up and down that they did this. How you the face of boxing and you trying to rehydrate Frank? You got people on Twitter talking about how y'all gonna let Gervonta Davis drain Frank. Like Gervonta Davis sanctions fights. Do you know how asinine, how fake, how cruel, how immoral, how zero integrity you have to believe that LeBron James makes the rules for the NBA basketball games? That LeBron James is the reason that the shot clock is 24 seconds. Are y'all mad? I'm about to use my UK people term. Are you mad? Literally, not mad as is, are you upset? Are you insane? Are you mad? You're a madman. You're a madman. That's exactly what you are, because you're not even a man. Because if you want to hate on another man so bad that you will disregard everything that you've done for the last 20, 30, 40 years of your life just to hate on Gervonta is nasty work. And y'all will call us fanboys because we defend somebody in truth against y'all vitriol, against y'all hatred, against y'all teeth showing, against y'all shade throwing, against y'all zero integrity. Love to put out a narrative but selves. This is sad. This is disheartening that we have went so far, and as a boxing community, we will sit up there and let these guys and let these girls and let these YouTube channels and let these whoever supporters, whatever you want to call them, let these people do this to a man when we all literally know the truth. Like, it is proven. It's not nothing to argue about. It's not nothing. If Gervonta Davis is the only guy in the WB, this is going to be a rule for all divisions. When Noah Inoue gets announced that he has to have a fight, that they mandate a fight with the WBA, and he fights as mandatory, guess what he's going to have to do? Guess what Canelo Alvarez is going to have to do? Guess what David Morrell is going to have to do if he defends his 168 title? Guess what everybody is going to have to do? The same thing that the IBF been doing. And we fully understand that, and we go about, and we don't even talk about it. It's a shame. Y'all, this is the most disgraceful thing I think I have seen from Devin Haney fans, even some of my fellow Shakur fans. And I say fellow Shakur fans because I'm a Shakur fan myself. But this is sickening. Y'all don't know boxer make rules for sanctioning bodies. Like, y'all all really literally know that. But y'all got so much hatred for the man that y'all would even entertain it, if it's true, not true, whatever the situation is. The fact that y'all would even entertain that. Y'all know what this is, man. Deem by any means. And I holla at y'all.